Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Edward here, aka Proghat, and happy to be doing another video. Glad to be alive. Having a pretty good week so far, and that's good. This is the last week of school and I'm glad. Purpose of my video is I am doing a contest entry for the vinyl channel. That's Boz. That's his channel. That vinyl channel, excuse me, he has hit 1,500 subscribers. Wow, that's awesome. Totally awesome. Yes, I am looking because I'm looking at the official rules of the contest, which is a really neat idea for a contest. And just to talk about Boz a little bit, he has a really good channel. I've liked a lot of his videos. One that I liked, it was when he was talking about cleaning techniques and this neat brush to, these kind of real non-affordable ways to clean records. Um, He's been a supporter of me, and not too long ago entered my 60s contest and given me a shout out in one of his videos, and I really appreciate that very much. What's really cool about him is that he is a Boz Scaggs fan, and man, he's the first one I ever knew that's a Boz Scaggs fan. I love the music of Boz Scaggs. Through my mother, she was a fan of Boz Scaggs music. Her favorite 8-track was to play the Boz Scaggs hits, and we listened to that quite often. I remember her playing it when we were all pitching and helping and cleaning the house. And I would have to ask, who doesn't or wouldn't like Boz Scaggs? And one of his videos, he showed that album Dig. And that is a really good album by Boz Scaggs. I didn't even know it existed on vinyl. I've seen a CD. I've had friends make me CDRs of Boz Scaggs music because I don't have any in his records. I like a lot of his earlier albums. Um, they're so good, and I have copies of some of them on CDR through friends, like I mentioned. And I enjoy his music. His music makes me feel happy. It's upbeat. It's jazzy. I love his vocals. He always brings a good, solid vocal to all his albums. So let me get into the contest here, okay? I'm going to reach down and grab some records. The first rule is to like his video, which I did, and I've already been a subscriber to his channel. And number 2 is to show the 15th album, and it could be CD, cassette, 8-track, etc., from the start of your collection, and the 15th album from the end of your collection. Okay? Now, my collection is set up different. The top row of it, I try to keep all the vinyl box sets, but the second row begins with two of my favorite bands. I have the Who albums with my Van Halen albums. So the 15th album in my collection is Tommy, The Who. Came out in 1969. Here's one of my copies of it. I think I have 2 or 3, maybe more. But yes. And a real solid favorite. I love this vintage ringwear. And it's always been a top favorite in my top 10 favorite Who albums, or top 5. But there you go, folks. The Who, Tommy. Just wanted to talk a little bit about one of my favorite songs on this album, and it's not written by Townsend or any of the members of The Who. And it's the song that ends side 1. Let me see here. It's a song called Eyesight to the Blind, or as this book I was reading calls it, The Hawker. And it's a Sonny Boy Williamson tune written a long time ago. And Townsend heard like a jazzy type version of it through a guy named Moose, Mose, Allison, did a version of it. And because of the lyrics and the of the song "Eyesight to the Blind," it fits in perfectly to the narrative of the story of the album and the character Tommy. It's one of my favorite songs. I love the way that album closes with that song. It's a really good, solid favorite song. One day I'm going to have to do a video of my favorite, at least top 10, 15 favorite Who songs. And I know that song would be on there. Okay, now the other part is, and the 15th album from the end of my collection, which I thought I had pulled, but it won't take me long to reach for it because I had already pulled it. I thought I had it with this stack. And that would be Yes, the 90125. One of the albums that put Yes back on the map. Like, you know, Yes came out with this solid record from around the 80s, I believe. Yeah, the 80s. And it was like, bang, here we are, Yes again, and back on top with with Trevor Rabin on guitar and Alan White, rest in peace, Tony Kaye, Chris Squire, John Anderson. This is one of my favorite Yes albums. I can't give a ranking to it, but it's a good album from beginning to end. I love all the songs. Some of them have, of course, they have that prog element to a lot of the songs, especially the song Changes, with that different type of beginning of that intro where it's like a different time signature, different rhythmic beginning, and it actually builds, and it just goes right into this perfect long song that kind of gets a little bit bluesy in my opinion. And it's, I mean, I can go on. I mean, this record is, I never get tired of hearing this. I'm also looking for this on CD because I know it has some bonus tracks. Okay, so that's that. And then the other question, number 3, show your 6th most favorite band, artist, or group. And what I use for that one is I just put it this way, way before the pandemic, it was on one of those weekends where I felt like making a list. I said, what if I made a video of my top 10 favorite artists, bands, groups that I like? Who would they be? And it was real hard to do because I really do like a lot of bands and a lot of artists. And I grew up in that era of the singer-songwriters, you know, the 70s. I love that period. I love 70s music a lot. Always will have a place in my heart. I would always see my mom singing or humming one of those songs from the 70s. I'm trying to give an idea, like songs by Sly and the Family Stone, Billy Paul, Isaac Hayes, classic things like Gordon Lightfoot, Linda Ronstadt, Joni Mitchell. The list goes on. And so I did it, and of course there was, on the outside of that list, there was these honorable mentions because it was really hard to do. But on that list, I listed as my 6th most favorite band, and that's the Kinks. And this is one of their American albums called You Really Got Me. I scored this a long time ago for like $5. I don't mind sharing that. It was a good deal. And I just simply love the Kinks. And I remember the time I got into the Kinks. I have a friend, and he's still my friend today. He's known me ever since high school. He worked in this he still works in record stores, but the earliest great memories when I first met him working at this one record store, and I was looking through the Kinks records, and I didn't know where to begin. And he was helping me, and he said, I'll tell you what, let me make you a cassette of some of their music. And he made me a cassette of an EP of the Kinks that had Long Tall, Shorty, and some of these other good songs. And I simply fell in love with the Kinks then. I just love their music. I love that they brought that blues, but they made their own kind of rock and roll. you know, it's almost like in between the Who, the Beatles, the Stones, but the Kinks were in a class of their own. So this was one of the, and now this is not the copy I used to own, like, but this is the album where I started, and I love albums like Kinda Kinks and Kinks Controversy, and simply love those records. I love their music, and I still listen to it to this day. So the other thing after that was to let him know the comments below that you made a video, which I'm going to let him know after I uploaded this. And all videos must be submitted by May 20th, midnight Eastern time. And the winner will be announced on May the 21st. Please go ahead. I'm going to leave a link to his channel. Go ahead and sub him up. Check out his video contents of some of his videos. I love in his video, the music room behind him. Everything is organized. I am still in the process of trying to organize my music room. As you can see, my wall behind me now is some pictures came down because I'm going to hang up one of my favorite Who posters from the album Face Dances. It's going to go back there. And I took down Jimmy Page. I'm going to move my favorite Scorpions album cover somewhere else. But anyway, folks, I encourage you to go check out his channel. That's Boz. Remember, he is a big fan of Boz Scaggs. That is really cool. I'll be back. I'll be doing another video pretty soon for another contest. And I want to do that 10 questions, whatever that is, that vinyl challenge or whatever kind of challenge is. It just sounded good, and I'd like to take a shot at that. Thanks again to all the new subscribers that I've been picking up here recently. I greatly appreciate. If you like this video, please give it a like. I'd like to keep it going. And folks out there, let's encourage and keep on supporting these contests. They're a lot of fun. We get to know about people. We get to see people, you know, coming out with some really, really cool ideas. Take care, everybody.